Hey everybody, we are going to be talking about order of operations. This is Unit 6 in my class this time around. But anyway, this is everything to do with BEDMAS. You might have heard this before in your prior classes. What BEDMAS means is, this is just an acronym, like it's a made up word because each letter means its own thing. Brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And what this means is that when we see math, we have to have an order to do things, and the order is you start with the B and you go that way all the way to the end of it. And the reason is because if you had something like this, let's say we had like 18 minus 1 plus 3, and 18 minus 1 plus 3, people can get different kinds of answers. For example, people will say the A comes before the S, so that means you should do the addition first, right? And if you do that, you'll get 18 minus 4, which makes a 14. But the real way, and I'll explain this in a bit, is actually to do this one first. Even though the A comes before the S, the addition comes before the subtraction, we actually have to do the subtraction first, which gives us 17 plus 3, which makes 20. So people, I'm sure, are saying, like, how on earth does this make any sense? And so this is the first big thing that we got to talk about before we go anywhere on order of operations, is that if you have only adding or subtraction, what you have to do is think of, your hint could be like money. Think of it like games, casino money, you're winning and you're losing, right? You just go from left to right. What I need you to think about is this. It's like we have 18 and then a minus 3 and then a plus 1. So again, 18 and then a minus 3 and then a plus 1. And you can think of that as like saying losing, and you can think of that as like winning. That's why like thinking about money can help sometimes, right? So when we think of this then word in place, then suddenly in the order of BEDMAS, BDMAS, we technically are doing the addition first. We've introduced a new addition sign, right? So I'm just going to take out that part. Now we have 18 plus minus 3 plus 1. Don't be scared of that. It just means then. That's all it means. So 18 then 3 gives us 15. No, what am I talking about? Yeah, 18 minus 3 gives us 15, and then this plus 1 makes us 16. So that's the only thing that I wanted to get across right now. When you have only adding or subtracting, number one, you can think of the then. Think of the then, add the then there, like a little plus sign. And the other thing is just go left to right. Okay, so here's an example. We're not going to do all the addition before the subtraction. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think of then. Let's get that in there. I'll write that in here. 30, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. Now let's go to the casino and see what happens. 30, and then I lose a buck, brings you to $29. Technically, you need to bring everything down. So I'm going to bring everything down right where it is. 29 plus 2, 29, and then I win 2. So there's my then, there's my win. That takes me to 31. Bring everything down. 31, and then I lose 3. Takes me to 28. 28, and then I win 4 makes 32. And then 32, and then I lose 5 makes 27. Now, of course, at the beginning, you're going to have an equal sign at the beginning of every line. And then you put a box around your answer. There you go. You know, and if you're really, really quick at this, it's instead of showing all this work, which, by the way, you'll notice how aligned this is. Like, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. We got to be aligned like that. Otherwise, we won't know where our numbers came from, okay? You could do it like that, or you could just run right across if you're really good with your numbers. For example, 30 minus 1, 29. Add 2 more, 31. Take away 3, 28. Add 4, 32. Take away 5, 27. If you're that slick at math and you can do that, go for it. It would be much faster, okay? So that's how to do order of operations when there's only addition or subtraction. And by the way, when we think of BEDMAS, we do think of these as like a package that goes together, because as soon as you have subtraction, like here, 17 minus 3, what we really have is 17, then you lose 3. So every time you see a minus sign, you can imagine that there's a plus sign involved as well, and we're just splitting it up into a different way of looking at it, okay? So these guys go together. So the next video will be about division and multiplication and how those guys work.